Hello, Teresa PhelpsMartin, bringing you the energetic signature for May of 2022. Please know that this is an offering straight from my heart to yours, so use what serves, leave the rest behind. I always call for the highest good for all concerned, harm to none. And this energetic signature looks at the patterns of the heavenly sky, and through watching the transits of the cosmic arrangement, I look for the guidance to really work with the inner workings of ourselves so we can co-create our lives. So just like if it was going to be a sunny day, you would know to put sunscreen on, right? If you're going to be outside all day. Or if it was going to be stormy and rainy, you would grab your umbrella, okay? So the whole idea is so that we can co-create with the cosmos and be real and be true and be soulful, like to really come alive from the depths of who we are. And that is the theme for May, is to reclaim our truth and to really call forward your soul's desires. Like, you deserve to live an amazing and a brilliant life. That does not mean it's free of trials and tribulations. However, through those trials and tribulations, we evolve, and through that level of evolving, we can elevate our experience and amplify this higher perspective to really enjoy, to just enjoy the gift of living. So reclaiming our truth. The energy this month is we have a lot of fire, we have a lot of air, we have a lot of water, okay? It's still earth and water heavy. So that if you feel like you missed out on the fire, it will come this month, okay? It's just going to be different because the fire that we would have had during Aries season just was always being watered down, right? But that light was there so that we could see into those dark crevices, right? Into the deep waters, envision at the bottom of the ocean and how the sunlight still reaches. That's what that energy was like in April. Now we're going to feel this ability to give form and structure as we reclaim our truth. So it's really taking action. It's really giving shape and form to what it is that we want to bring forward. Okay, right? So that energetic signature is still a lot of earth and water this month. So, which makes sense, really, because we need to, if we're going to give form to anything, that's the sun and Taurus. We all have that Tauran energy this time of year. So if your birthday, woohoo, you've had to go through so much change, that's why you want to read the soul scopes, which are on Facebook and Instagram. For this lunation, I'm only writing them once a month because really you can take that energy through the month, and then when it comes to the full moon, you can release. I'll get there when I talk about the moons. But the sun is in Taurus, and we're all feeling that flavor of really grounding the energy. It's the fixed energy of spring. Everything's coming alive. It's blooming. There's pollen. You might be sneezing. The grass is turning green. The leaves are budding up. It's abundant. It's that promise of renewal. We can see it, right? It's not just promise, it's tangible. We can feel it. We can sense it, like feel it, taste it, smell it, sneeze it, however you want to put it. Okay. So with that energy, the sun will be in Taurus until May 20th, and then it goes into Gemini. Now, Mercury's already in Gemini. Okay. And so that chatter, that socialization, that wanting to get out, making plans for travel and adventure, right? Or maybe you're just busier in your own little environment and you find yourself wanting to get out and engage with the world, your neighborhood. That is that Gemini energy. Mercury, though, will go retrograde. It's just entered Gemini, and it'll go retrograde. And it will go retrograde on May 10th. I think that's the 10th. Yeah, May 10th. And then it goes back into Taurus on May 22nd. And then it goes direct like June 4th. When does it go direct? Sorry. June 3rd. But it doesn't clear its shadow until the end of June. Okay. So what that means is that in all the conversations that Mercury's having, we want to reflect. It also is in a easeful alignment with with Pluto, that's also in retrograde, which means that your words might burn and hurt and destroy. Or maybe you received something that was hurtful and tricky and kind of nasty, if you will. So, with that information, be mindful of your speech. Words matter. There's a lot of energy to them. And if you're human and you mess up, then go forward and call in forgiveness. Like, apologizing is one thing, but asking for forgiveness is a whole other thing. They may not give it to you, but asking forgiveness is your ability to be aware of your actions and taking responsibility, okay? And when you do that, you have to surrender and realize that what the other person does is their own. However, that energy to really speak into the depths is available as well. So that would be the higher vibe of it, the ability to speak what the depth has been, what is transforming for you, to come forward and articulate that. That energy is strong as well. And Mercury will be in this kind of dance with Pluto for a lot of its retrograde. It'll move out of it and then it'll come back into it. Okay. All right. Mercury is our witness. It's our articulation. It's the way we do commerce. It's the way we communicate the giving and the receiving of our lives. Venus is the receiving. Mars is the giving or the taking or the doing, right? We have being and doing. Venus has been being her brilliant and beautiful self in Pisces, along with Mars, along with Jupiter, along with Neptune. So we still have this very strong Piscean flavor, which is just boundless. It's boundless. So if you feel like you're like ready to call in some boundaries, or you're like exhausted of really having to hold up your boundaries, always know that everybody is surrounded by unconditional love. And as we go into those deep, uncharted waters of our soul, the light's with us. This is part of the reclamation, the remembering our essence and leading with it. Venus goes into Aries though at the beginning of the month. And this is that like initiating the feminine spark, really being able to receive the fact that that women are here. We're not here to compete with each other. That's like the old misaligned version. We're not here to bust through glass ceilings. We're not here to prove our masculinity. We are here to embody our ability to receive, to be cared for, to be honored, to be valued, to be desired and have desires. So when Venus goes into Aries, there's going to be this big energy, this big flame of energy of being independent. So it's not so much being independent to be competitive and knocked down, but to really feel the fire behind this reclamation of your truth. And my hope is that you would be able to know how to be centered into the depths of your body, of your mind, of your spirit, of your soul. She will travel through Aries very quickly. And then at the end of the month, on May 28th, she enters Taurus, where she loves to be. So there's going to be really this, the word sexual is coming and I don't usually go there, but this deep, like we've been in this romantic, benevolent place. And now we're going to be able to give shape and form to that benevolence, right? And our values and our worth and our really seeing the worthy nature of that feminine aspects of ourselves, of allowing others to take care of us, of receiving the divine love, of receiving the sun rays and not feel like you're being attacked, right? Like absorbing the vitamin D, but also knowing you have to put sunscreen on, right? Because nobody needs to get sunburnt. Okay, Mars will join Venus in Aries on Oh, interesting. May 24th. And what that means is that Mars is like, oh yeah, just go for it. Make it happen. Whatever it is you're ready to bust forward with, you will have all this renewed energy. Mars is home in Aries. And so after being in an uncomfortable space of having to slow down and relax and chill and let the ladies take charge, I mean, come on. Who doesn't like to be cared for? But it's really hard when we're really forced to be and we can't do. So when that we're gonna feel that fiery shift and be able to do more, especially because Jupiter goes into Aries as well on the same day as Mercury goes retrograde. So Jupiter will enter Aries on May 10th. This is big energy, big fire, big flame. So think about it. That means we're going to feel more of that fire energy really coming through May 10th until May 26th, 25th. So there's going to be this kind of big spark to initiate, to make things happen, to go big, to go big, to go big. Now, let me tell you something. When fire gets out of control, it's dangerous. We still need boundaries, right? So we can, and when the sun goes into Gemini and you blow air onto fire, it goes even bigger. So I'm sharing that with you to realize like we're ready for that gusto, right? We're ready to have energy and motivation and get to our lives in this new reality, okay? In this new understanding, your truth, reclaim it. And reclaim it and know that this Aries fire is initiatory fire. It's that busting forward of spring energy. So what can you bust forward? What can really, that the seeds that you've planted, how can you start to honor that they're rising up, that they're sprouting, that there's life, that the plant didn't die, right? That, like I always think about the hydrangeas, that they sit there all winter, just these sticks. And then slowly, and it's just like, boom, they just like, leaves start coming out, and then they have these big, beautiful blossoms. Same with the peonies, like they just shoot up out of the ground and then whoo, they explode in their brilliance. That's that fire Aries energy, okay? So Jupiter will be there until Jupiter goes retrograde, and I don't have that, but it's not till later this summer. I don't think it's, yeah, there we go. It's the end of July, okay? So it'll be retrograde in Aries for a while, and I'm just getting off track, and I'm trying to be efficient and respectful of my sister's house as well. Saturn hangs out in Aquarius, so we're still building these new ideas. We're still understanding this new relationship with the infrastructure of our lives. Everybody is, right? Like when people learn of my truth and being diagnosed with breast cancer and having a double mastectomy and having reconstruction surgery and having revision surgery soon, they go, oh man, I'm like, hey, look, yes, that's my journey. And thank you for the compassion. Everybody I know has been going through something. Okay. I don't know anybody who's gotten an easy card. So there's been challenges for everyone because that's what happens when you're renovating, right? It's hard, it's dirty, it's messy. So Saturn's still there. The good news about Saturn though is that it's moving out of this real challenge with the nodes. Okay. I'm going to leap forward. Uranus will stay in Taurus. So Taurus, that's why you really want to read the soul scopes. The change is big. As a matter of fact, the sun will be conjunct Uranus. Oh man. Sorry, I just realized that's my lunar return on May 5th. I also realized I'll still be here. How beautiful. So big changes, big breakthroughs, new discoveries, and that's really hard. So that the breaking ground in a new reality, right? If you're really going to build a structure, you got to go into the earth and then rise, okay? That is the idea. And then Neptune hangs out in Pisces, and Pluto, I mentioned, is still, it's retrograde. It will be through the summer until October. And It's at this retrograde of this 28-degree mark, and then it's going to go back to 27, and then it'll come forward again. So it's a lot of this transformation that we've been going through, and we're really, really breaking down to build new again. Okay, so back to the nodes. There was a Taurus solar eclipse. Excuse me. The solar eclipse was with the Taurus new moon on April 30th. As I'm recording this, we're still in that benevolence, that delight, that amazing energy to really to build, to call forward your desires and build into that. And as you give it shape and form, that you can own it and claim it and receive it. Receive it. Like, if you have a dream, make sure you're in the ability to live the dream and let the dream come to you. This is the idea of co-creating. So we have this flavor of this eclipse energy all month long. Now, what's interesting is that it was at 10 degrees Taurus, okay? And what we have is this is a new area of the chart, and we will have Venus hit this point. We will have Mars hit this point. We will have Jupiter hit this point. So it makes this eclipse a longer lasting imprint, and it's longer last, like that energy, that flavor will be get hit again and woken up again, and we'll get hit when I say like it passes in the sky, not like the actual physical punch, but it triggers that energy. So when that happens, when Venus goes past it first, it's really about giving energy to this reclamation of feminine embodiment. And then Mars will come by. And when Mars comes by, it will be like, okay, let's move forward with this feminine embodiment. And it's going to take a while before Jupiter goes into Taurus. We're like talking not for, it's 2022 now. Jupiter probably won't hit it until 2023. Okay. And it may hit it twice. So just know that this point in your chart, this 10-degree point in your chart, isn't over, and it's on my south node. So I get to live it for a while. The nodes. So speaking of the south node, since I just dropped that one. So the south node is our past, is what we've come into the world. It's really the wisdom, the gifts, the knowledge, the knowing. But in our soul's journey, it's also what we need to get out of our comfort zone. Okay. And so then we have the north node. So the solar eclipse that just happened was on the north node. The lunar eclipse that's going to happen on May 16th is on the south node. So I'm not writing soul scopes for anything except for the entire lunation. So I'm no longer doing new moon and full moon because it's repetitive. What you want to do, and maybe I'll do a video on this. What you want to do is read the soul scope, and then when the full moon comes, really look at that opposing energy, right? What can you release? What can you celebrate that you've really invited in, and what can you release? Now, the lunar eclipse that's happening on May 16th is a total lunar eclipse. It is, if you're not choosing to be conscious, it will be chosen for you, sort of thing. I know that I have a little snarky nature in that comment, but it's going to happen. Like, whatever needs to go will go. To be honest with you, a lot of that has been amplified in my journey with cancer, is that the choice to remove my breasts was a choice to live. Okay. And in that choosing to live, I've had to do some uncomfortable things, and I continue to have to do the uncomfortable things, but it's better than dying of cancer. Okay. So that full moon will be a release. It will be a letting go. It will be permission to connect to the patterns of vulnerability in your life, to realize that we're in relationship with our soul's desire, so everybody else is too. You want to get really, this Mercury retrograde is like, what is your value system? Oop, let's go back, because we're all trying to just get back to life as normal. No, what is your value system? What has shifted? What are those priorities you want to bring forward? And what do you have to let go of? right? Like, what pattern do you need to be like, this is no longer serving me? Okay. That's it, right? So the lunar energies are, we are just had the new moon on April 30th, the new moon in Taurus. So the first quarter of that will be in Leo, which is really letting your truth shine forward. The full moon will be in Scorpio on May 16th. The last quarter will be in Pisces. And I'm sharing this because the last quarter moon is after it's been full. It's really the point of psychological integration. This is in Pisces. So a quarter is a 90-degree angle with the sun as the cycle's coming into closure. So it's a challenge. What is the lesson? How can you make peace with the journey? What can you resolve? What can you accept? It's in Pisces. And we've really been initiated into Pisces in a major way, of those depths, of the mystical, of the beauty and the magic of the unseen, of recognizing that the darkness isn't scary, right? It's just where we can create because we want to survive. We want to give life and bring it forward. So the other theme of Pisces is unconditional love. We're all in this together. So when you get to this last quarter in this eclipse lunation, that you can feel the love. Okay, feel the love and invite that love deeply. Like, come back to that image. Like, maybe your meditation can be like you've been in the dark waters to find the treasure, right? The buried treasure that is in there. And as you found the treasure, the light has guided you, right? You all know that image, right? Where the light comes through the waters. It's beautiful. Yeah, in the waters. And then there will be a new moon in Gemini on May 30th, which my birthday is May 31st. So May is an amazing month. And that energy of Gemini, how can you speak that truth? How can you give life to it? How can you really articulate the truth of you, that buried treasure that you've had to dig and dive and walk into the muddy waters and bring it forward, to speak it into being? Words have a lot of energy. Okay. And when that moon is new, I haven't drawn out the chart for it yet, so I apologize. But anyhow, the good news for me is that the new moon in the beginning of the month are starting to separate a little bit. It's hard to do it all at the same time. So that being said, at 9 degrees Gemini. So you can look at these points. So I do want to go here. If you haven't yet, book a reading with me. It's my birthday month. You can do it for $88. We will meet for 50 minutes. I will give you your chart. You will then know your sun, your moon, and your rising. We can gain clarity, but it'll also it's nothing to be scary of. It will encourage you to be who you are. It will help amplify, it will affirm, and it's just a chance to celebrate yourself. So with that being said, then will know which house, like what house is Taurus. So like, I know for me, Taurus rules my 8th house. So anybody who's Libra rising, Taurus rules your 8th house. And so in that energy, that's the other thing. It makes it like, really easy to understand. So where I'm going with this, then you can know what area to focus on. So I can focus on being vulnerable. See, I told you, book a reading with me. And if we've already done a reading, then book that soul session and we can go back and clarify and really understand how to work with this eclipse energy and how to work with the new moons, or you can learn your lunar return. It's endless. There's never such thing as just one reading. Okay. So know that if you're watching this, you have the $88 invitation. Just message me and I will give you the link to book. Or you can go onto my website, and if you go to my website, PhelpsMartin.com, soul sessions, the price there is $108. So that's why I would just message me. Okay. Or book a clarity session, which is free, and then we can schedule it and then we can take care of payment later, right? There's so many ways of doing this, and let's make it easy. You need your birth time, birth day, and birthplace. They matter. It matters where you were on the earth when you left the womb and came into your own. It's called individuation. All right. So it's just where the planets were celebrating you in the sky. See, look, I got into Gemini. I started talking about myself because Gemini likes to do that. There's nothing tricky in what I have to offer. Yes, I can be snarky, and actually I could be a little tricky if you've ever been on the yoga mat with me. Words matter. Know this is my final thing. First week. So these are transits. So that means there's energy in the sky. First week of May, lots happening. There's a lot of beautiful, they're all sextiles. There is the sun conjunct Uranus, but all the challenges that we've been experiencing and giving this new life and reclaiming our truth, there's just this gentle, loving nudge to make it a little easier. Then the second week of May is just, we have Jupiter entering Aries and Mercury going retrograde, which are actually big. They are big. But all the other, see, no transits. Everything else is really easy. Third week, we start to have a bit more movement. And I believe that's when we see some challenges, but not so much. We have a lot of sweet energy, like easeful energy this month. So third week. Fourth week, we start to hit more energy. And then the end of the month, we have the new moon. And the end of the month, it gets a little interesting, but Venus being in Taurus just makes everything better. So if you've enjoyed Venus being in Pisces, she's going to race through. You're not going to even be able to catch up with her as she moves through Aries, and then she'll be in Taurus. So again, all of this is being offered so you can co-create with the cosmos and really be prepared and build your life as you reclaim your truth. So you can be real, you can be true, and you can be soulfully you. I appreciate you taking the time to tune in. And again, if you ever want to make a donation to contribute, those of you who did last month, it actually made me cry when I got a note in my PayPal or my Venmo. So thank you. I so appreciate. If you have any questions, if there's anything you want from me, message me, reach out, comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to share it, like it, comment, subscribe. And if you're watching this on Facebook, just you are allowed to invite people to the group. I just haven't felt like opening the doors, but I might just let go of the private boundary, but it just feels like a safer place when it's private. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and may you always be true, and may you know at the depth, at your core, that you deserve to live a brilliant and beautiful life.